Dear colleagues, there is a saying, and the saying is that when you play with fire, then you have to expect to get burned. And I have to tell you, my impression is that is what is exactly happening now with the Turkey deal. With the Turkey deal, why? Because we try to outsource our problems to an autocratic leader, Mr. Erdogan. And what he is doing? Well, 2 days ago, Mr. Erdogan instructed the German government to prosecute a TV presenter, Jan Böhmermann, for a satiric poem. And I can tell you, I'm not the lawyer of Mr. Böhmermann, and what he produced is also not my taste of humor. But in a free society, dear colleagues, in a free society, such satiric poems must be possible. That's the price we are paying for our freedom, and we are happily paying for our freedom. And so to come back to Erdogan, we have already given him the keys to the gates of Europe, and now we risk handing him the keys over to our newsrooms, that he is deciding and controlling our media. And I have to tell you, I'm not surprised that this is happening. I'm not surprised that this is happening. If you put yourself at the mercy of somebody as Mr. Erdogan, and if you outsource your responsibilities to a third country as Turkey, and in my opinion, I can tell you, I think it's only the beginning of what I call a Turkish bazaar politics. And why I'm saying that? Well, Mr. Erdogan already declared in the Turkish parliament that he will call off the agreement that he has made with you if he has not, within 2 months, the visa liberalisation he requested, and then regardless whether he will keep his part of the agreement and will comply with all conditions of visa liberalisation. So it's clear that we have put ourselves in the hands of Erdogan and in fact of his government. So I have more and more the impression and the feeling, Mr. Tusk, that you know Putin, he used energy as a weapon. Erdogan used poor refugees as a political weapon. That is what is happening. And I don't say that in a light way, I have to tell you. First proof of that, Turkey, that was part of the deal, Mr. Juncker, and it is not complied by the Turks. In Turkey, they need to change their legislation to lift all the territorial restrictions on the Geneva Convention and to make it possible that a Syrian refugee can have asylum in Turkey. They don't do it and they refuse to do it. But moreover, and more important, is the fact that there are reports, and nobody is talking about this. We have a debate here and we have reports of Amnesty International stating that Turkey is sending Syrian refugees back to Syria against international law. And yesterday it was confirmed by the Dutch state television in a program when they inquired in it and proved that the Turkish authorities are doing that. My question to you, Mr. Tusk, is why are you not examining this? Is this true? And if this is true, can we continue with a deal that is against international law and against our obligations? What are you doing? What is your answer to that? Are you inquiring in this? And is it true what Amnesty International and the Dutch state television yesterday have said? And 3, let's not fool ourselves. It's true. You say the deal is working on the Greek-Turkish border. Yes. It are not 1,700 anymore a day. It are 50 now a day. But yesterday, the Italian Coast Guard have rescued not 50 people like normal, but 2,154 people they have rescued. So what is the result of yesterday? If we take only the figures of yesterday. People like to talk about figures here, about the deal. Well, they are the figures. From 1,700 to 50, and from 50 to 2,154. Is that the deal was working? And in the meanwhile, we have given, in fact, our position, our freedom, our values in the hands of whom? Of Erdogan. Well, I'm saying, instead of having here a debate about a deal that, in my opinion, is not working, we have to put our act together ourselves in Europe. That is the priority now. And in my opinion, that means three things. First of all, the European Border and Coast Guard. You know what the reality is? The Commission rightly have asked a number of people to the member states. You know the figures? 400 people have asked us interpreters. 37 were sent to Greece. The Commission has asked 472 migration officers. 31, Mr. Tusk, have been sent to Turkey and to Greece. The Commission has asked 1,500 security officers. How many have been sent? 339. So in total, more than 2,300 people as the start of this European Border and Coast Guard have been requested by the Commission, and in reality, more or less 400 of these people have been put at the disposal of the European Commission. Is that the deal was working? I have another idea. I think we need desperately this European Border and Coast Guard and make an agreement so that it can be rolled out. I think, secondly, we need desperately a European asylum system, and as Mr. Pittella, I give the support of my group to go forward with the proposal of the Commission the fastest as possible. And desperately, ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, if you want to fight the smugglers, there is only one way, and that is also to give the possibility for legal migration to Europe. That's the only way to stop the smugglers. Smugglers in Turkey or smugglers in North Africa. Thank you.